Hello everybody, it's Regular. Today I'm going to be reviewing Halo 5 Guardians. Yep, gotta add that Guardians in there. Anyway, well, so Halo 5 recently launched, and as of its launch, I've been playing the hell out of it. It's like the only game I've been playing. Ask any of my friends on Xbox, they'll say that Halo 5 is all I've been playing. Halo 5 so far, that from what I've played and from what I've heard about what's going to happen in the future, is going to be an amazing game and is definitely worth it. If you were to get an Xbox One for any game, it would be this game. So without further ado, let's talk about some of the good things about Halo 5, some of the game modes, the mechanics, and other things, and some of the bad things about Halo 5 Guardians. Let's start with the mechanics, because the mechanics are the most easy to go over. Halo 5 introduces multiple new mechanics into the game. Some of them are the Spartan Charge, which when you are sprinting for a short amount of time, you'll be able to click RB and charge. Charge will deal normal melee attack damage, however, unlike a normal melee attack, will knock the enemy back a great distance, allowing you to fire at them if needed. Spartan Charge is also extremely effective from behind. It's known as the Spartan Charge, however, I normally refer to it as a shoulder charge throughout the rest of the video, so calm down. The next movement mechanic is the thrust. The thrust, you click B on the controller, you will thrust in any direction that you move the arrow in. This is very, very useful. I use this a lot. You're gonna see me use it a couple times here. It's a quick movement burst, and it's one-time use, and then it will slowly recharge in the corner of your screen. You'll see a little red dot. It will beep, and then once that's gone, you can thrust again. I like that because it gives an audio cue, or not an audio cue, a visual cue as to when you're able to use your mechanic again. When you are in the air, if you click LT, you will hover for a certain amount of time. Times vary, but for the most part, it's the same every single time. It's a couple seconds that you get to just sit in the air and shoot people down, and it's quite a good tactic to use this with other movement mechanics. Sprint is also pre-built into the game, along with the new Smart Aim. Smart Aim is a lot like ADSing in the sense of like in COD or something. You click LT and you'll start the Smart Aim, and you can ADS with assault rifles, DMRs, anything. Smart Aim will abuse the weapon's sight if needed, and if the weapon doesn't have a sight, then it will just use use the sight spawned from the weapon. As you can see here, the railgun doesn't have an iron sight preset, so it spawns one to the side of the weapon, so it kind of zooms in a bit. The Smart Aim mechanic also, if you are shot while Smart Aiming, you will come out of Smart Aim. To get the hover, as mentioned earlier, you have to be Smart Aiming while in the air. So those were all of the new mechanics, I believe, except for your grenades are now far more bounceable than in previous Halo games, I think. Like, you can bounce them across like 3 walls if you're master the grenade bounce. And there are a couple new enemies in the game, but besides that, that was all of the main new mechanics in Halo 5. Now that we went over mechanics, I'm going to go over Arena, which you've been seeing me playing in the background. You're probably wondering, what is this game mode? Arena is the classic version. If you like Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4, you like the classic Halos, definitely check out Arena. Arena is where you go, where it's ranked. I think I'm Gold and Slayer currently. It's a ranked game mode where you see your rank, you see how it levels you up just like if you were to play Warzone. It's essentially one set objective like Slayer. It's where you'll find all your traditional game types and all of your, I guess you could say all of your original game types from the older games like Capture the Flag, Slayer, stuff like that. Now, the campaign, I'm going to briefly go over it. Not going to give away any story spoilers. Is one of the best, I will say. It is a great campaign. It would take me about 8-10 hours at most, and it was definitely very fun. I loved the campaign. It was very good. I liked the way it played out. I liked how the ending was. The ending was a bit meh, but it did set up the next Halo game, which was good. And the game gave a lot of background info, which I felt like that was missing from the Halo games, was understanding what happened in the Halo game before it. And it kind of gave that background info. It let you know what happened in the Halo game before it, and it let you know what was happening currently around you, along with what happened with the characters, which is really cool. I wish there was a bit more story information, but that will be in the cons later on. Now we're moving on to the Rec system. This is a new feature implemented into the game that is most accompanied by Warzone. The Rec system is how you customize your custom Spartan in multiplayer. It is how you get your your permanent weapons, your weapon variations, all that fun stuff. Now, I'm not talking weapon variations like COD. I'm talking about small little things that make the weapon different, like a suppressor or a sight or something like that. So let's talk about the Rec system. The Rec system can be easily classified into three main categories, and each one is very similar. Each one is very similar to things you may have heard of in the past. The 3 categories are permanent unlocks, which you see here. These are permanent. They are permanent unlocks. Give me a second here. There are permanent unlocks, accessories, and one-time use. One-time use are things that can be used one time with using Rec, and then they are gone. While permanent unlocks stay forever, and accessory are things that don't affect gameplay, like stance, assassination animation, and what your character is wearing. This is how you'll get, the easiest way to describe it is when you get a Rec pack, you will open it, it will give you certain cards with different items. Some will be one-time use, some you might get a couple permanent unlocks, and then you can equip them by looking into your menus. So you're probably wondering, how do these Recs work exactly? Look at the bottom of my screen here on the game, and you'll see that my Rec level currently is 3, almost 4, and you'll see 3 little green cubes. Those green cubes are my Rec energy, and that 3 to 4 is my Rec level. As you level up, you can get more better Recs. However, you require a certain amount of Rec energy to be able to get those Recs. As you see, I am currently Rec 3. I'm about to be Rec 4. And once I get Rec 4, I go and I get a weapon. And because it's a permanent, it doesn't decrease my energy. But if it wasn't a permanent, it would have decreased my energy. As you can see there's 4 cubes, and I use it to get my SMG. I go and I kill someone, and then I go about my day. This is how it works, except due to the fact that the SMG is a permanent unlock that I unlocked from leveling up, that it didn't count towards the normal Recs. If it was a fuel rod cannon, for example, which costs the same amount, around 4, it would have actually costed me energy. Your energy will regen over time, and your Rec rank goes up depending on what you do. So let's talk about Warzone now. Warzone abuses the Rec system to its fullest extent, like completely. There's no way of describing it without saying that. Warzone is essentially exactly what you would the big selling point, I guess, of Halo 5. It is 24 v is it 24? Yeah, 24 v 24 giant big team battles. It's huge players, and it's a lot of stuff going on at once. You have there's tons of different strategies. There's bosses you have to worry about. There's AI combatants. I could go into the depth of Warzone, but I'd be here for like an hour talking about it. The game, it just adds a whole new level of depth. To say the least, Warzone is like, think of it as a multi-objective, big team battle, huge game mode that is one of my favorite by far. And this is probably where you're going to see me doing most of my matchmaking in Halo 5, because I just love Warzone to death. The game strategy, the tactics and the strategies you use in Warzone is awesome. Like capture 2 bases, hold 2 bases, capture 2 bases, try and push the 3rd base, have someone kill bosses, have specific people do specific things, all this stuff. You can just do anything really that you want in Warzone. I think it might actually be 12v12 and a total of 24 players. Not 100% sure on that. I'll have to look into it after this, but it's something like that. As you saw there, that's essentially how the Rec system works. Now I'm out of energy. That's really it, I think. And for Halo 5, I went over Warzone, the campaign, arena, permanent unlock, shoulder charge, mechanics, Recs. Yep, I went over just about everything. Now to get some of the cons of the game. Cons currently is there's no Forge mode, but apparently it's being added with the first monthly update. And another con is weapon flinch on the battle rifle is a bit annoying. Some weapons need to be changed around. Like when I get shot by a battle rifle, I should be able to run away from it. I shouldn't get stuck. It's kind of annoying, I find, but I guess that's to keep it balanced at the same time, because if I could just run away, the battle rifle would be useless. But altogether, not a bad game. If I were to give a rating to Halo 5, I would definitely give it a solid 9 out of 10 if I were to be IGN. Because there are some things that are a bit annoying, but for the most part, the game is awesome. It's phenomenal. The gameplay is tight. It's 60 FPS, 1080p. The game looks amazing. It feels great. It's a great game, and this is why I recommend it to you. All those reasons I listed before, all these cool new features, these additions, this would be the reason for, if I were to own an Xbox One and I were to want to buy one, this would be the game I would buy. I'd buy it with I would probably buy the Mass, if I want to too, I'd probably buy the MC collection, but that's just me personally. So, that's all for today's video. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe, and maybe I'll review more things. I could review some, like the Master Chief Collection or other games. It's really up to you. So, without further ado, bye. One last thing before I go, I am sorry I haven't been uploading in a while. In the background you see me just quickly playing some custom games. I'm sorry I haven't been uploading. I've just had a lot of schoolwork to do. I've had a lot of stuff that's gone in the way. I haven't been able to upload, but don't worry, I'm going to try to do uploads every single Saturday. I don't 100% know if that will happen. Hopefully it will, but I can't guarantee it. That's all really, but I just want to let you guys know that I'm still going to be uploading. That's still a thing.